that in VCT, and they ended up all going out early in the playoffs. But this Envy team, they are the OGs of Double Duelists. They've been running this since late last year. They're continuing to make it work. We'll see if that's going to be the case yet again today, and they can take down another stage here of Challengers Americas.
It was not a close game against Core for Envy on this map. They were aggressive, they were accelerating constantly and giving absolutely no breathing room. In this case, much the same. Oh, what was that from Exeter? Good correction there as Vora was tucked on the left. He's able to deal with him as he comes out. Timo knows he has to be the stand-up player in this matchup, and unfortunately, all he can achieve is that one pick, leaving it to 7. He'll probably have his face shot off.
I gotta say, I'm super excited to watch more specifically of Exeter play, because when this roster began, when they were on that initial run late in 2024, and even into the early leg of this year, I feel like Kizoru was leaning way more into that gimmick territory. But as the year has gone on, I feel like he's been able to integrate that flair that he has, but with playing a more sound game overall. And in this playoff run, he's at his best games against the best competition, against TSM earlier in the bracket, against Cubert Academy, against Core. So it's feeling like he's stepping up in the most critical games against the top competition and challengers, and has, I think, really developed as a player over the course of this year.
And we just saw this a ton from Exeter. These walk-ups with a scoped weapon in towards A main last time we saw Envy go up against Core, and it worked pretty brilliantly. And this is maybe not the perfect test of this approach, given that TSM just lost the pistol. But once again, X is able to stride on up in that A direction with 3 players there, and a correct call on Envy. The gamble is on that part of the side. There's just no coverage here for Alvin towards that mid side of the map. There's no one watching it. He's just got his back to the play.
Yeah, when Inspire gets that mid information, here's the rotate back from Alvin, you can see immediately that Envy realized going for the B split is certainly the best option in this scenario. They get the plant down easy mode, and if I'm Exeter, I'm ready to go hunting, and it looks like that is going to be the idea, given that he throws that Outlaw over to Poppin, picks up the Guardian, get close to that dimensional drift. I mean, honestly, could even have it for this next round. He's just 2 orbs away.
And now we clear the stragglers. Is TSM hoping to catch Envy unaware, but they seem to have eyes in every direction. So the flawless anti-eco goes off without a hitch, essentially. Only Ion taking any damage. Then Envy working the map supremely well. And, you know, we're always kind of talking about the contrast between this team and the M80 of last year, who were much more methodical, played without duelists on Icebox, for example, very macro-oriented. Envy do feel in many senses to be the opposite end of that spectrum. But I also feel that they supplement their raw shooting ability with a really good understanding of how to work the map. And I think Inspire helps them a huge amount in that regard. He's always able to work mid, always able to take space and happy to fight for it as well. Envy are really strong in the macro sense as well, just in a different manner.
Spike down A.
Bold from Poppin to step out that far past the dark cover. No one to trade off of him. And even if they attempted to, they would have also just been covered up by that one-way. Cage allows Inspire to go on the spike retrieval mission. But in this 4-on-5 with a weak weaponry, going to be quite the challenge for Envy. You could have seen them trying to go for maybe the round the world, get both orbs for Exeter, but they are fully denied on A.
I will say it's interesting to walk that one way with such confidence. I'm not sure about that. Very much easy for Timo. Yeah, Timo to win that encounter. It's a bit of a non-issue. However, damage coming in. Alvin tagged up on the site. Timo going to get there. Vora also took a hit earlier on, so Envy get great chip damage before they even get onto this B site proper. And Alvin is still tucked here, but all that sniper util's gone. But time's been bought for TSM to set up for Boba. And 7 explodes onto the site by dealing with Ion. And that spike might be headed out of here. Kane, though, has to stay and fight. He's boxed in.
About to get flanked as well, gets one, but that should be all, and it is. Was scared for a second. Inspire will be able to get this free plant, just has the stinger at the moment though, so hopes of a 1v3 clutch with that weapon going to be incredibly slim.
10 seconds left.
At least the economy will get a little boost.
And that, of course, Cybercage is going to give him a bit of early notice. He does hear the flicker of it. So Inspire is definitely up against the odds, especially having taken that amount of damage around the corner. Timo, though, gets slapped. Should be a simple matter of a triple swing here. Triple swings by anybody. As Spy will fall back in that spawn direction. Timo puts him out of his misery. And there's that gun round found for TSM. Very much in this game. And a couple of oversights maybe from Envy in that round allowed TSM to get in.
Yeah, really didn't need to go down one player straight off the jump. And then when they go for that B side execute late, I like how Alvin Boy is able to play it, just retaining that backside space, which allows TSM to flood through Boba pretty easily. And
well, that's why one way is a good chat.
Initial kills here, yeah, 7 able to take out Ion back sight. That's also why you don't walk through them.
That's why Omen's that good. The fact that he was even getting used on bind at one point over the brim just because of that one-way potential. Tell you everything you need to know. Chucky meets Cam. And it will be the Cypher Vision shutdown inside B lobby here, but more of a default stance on the round. This time, we are now respecting the one-way. Character development here from Envy. And now we're even potential walk-up too.
In that final stage of VCT America's, Omen was by far the highest pick rate agent, I believe, like something 75% or so. Basically just ran everywhere. The Clove, very rare. That's a crazy entry.
Wow, come on, through the cyber cage.
Play the lottery, play the lottery.
It's going to take the wind out of their sails though, isn't it? Ion gets the better of him eventually, but it's still to the favor of TSM numbers-wise. 2 players up inside elbow. And Envy now can work their way out onto the site, but TSM are getting themselves arranged. There'll be a late wrap here from 7. 2 players set up on short. Softening them up a little bit is Vora. And Poppin, frankly, just gets dropped on. Good response here from TSM, and this is the kind of model we've seen for teams who've been able to find success against Envy. Just patient play, solid fundamentals, and maybe a little sprinkle of magic there like that Gimon 2-piece.
Yeah, that was quite fortunate, but I also like how 7 is able to play that situation late and goes for that fairly quick flank into elbow, which the remaining 2 Envy players did not expect at all. Plus, Poppin just has to cover Ion when he's sticking the spike default plant, so he gets a free kill there. I really liked 7's game yesterday. I think he was playing very intelligently against Core in that lower final.
I don't know if he played a rifle round. I don't think he picked up a Vandal or Phantom at any point, but
a lot of Judge, a lot of Odin.
Yep. No Sheriff.
It worked.
Yeah, it's brought that, I think, that entire conversation about Odin back into vogue. On a map like this, though, I don't particularly think 7 will be that way inclined. He's got eyes on top mid right now, and Aspire is being pretty tentative about how he takes control of that part of the map. Actually playing for a bit more aggression than TSM look to be ready to provide. And Timo now gets to post up on an extremity with the op. And against this kind of round from Envy, where they are more lightly armed, you definitely expect something like the gate crash across the way. Timo's going to be forced to the line. That is dirty from Exter. And it's an operator handed over to Envy. What a great way to unravel that setup. And now they've got side control. Straight through the smoke, they're going to come, but Envy ready for them to some degree. And that's the relay bolt setting it up. Exter with 3 kills for the round. 1 with the frenzy, 2 with the op inside, and now there's no choice but for TSM just to walk up. And again, it's more than once in a blue moon that these rounds get thrown in for Envy. That is
that is such an Envy moment. I was going to say, how are they going to clear this operator in main? You know, they have some options, maybe like throw down the cage, pop out of it with multiple players, because they didn't have that drone for popping, which is going to be the main tool. But now Exter just goes for the classic Yoru trick play with the gate crash combo flash. That was really sick. Kane hit some snappy shots at the end, but yeah, Exter gets with a 3-piece with the op as well. That is insane. And that's kind of what I'm saying about Exter, right? Like, I think he's developed the more technical side of Yoru, playing a more sound game as the year has gone on, but will still throw in those trick plays that you don't really see other Yorus going for. And he picks the opportune time for it there.
Alvin here is going to see all of this coming. Multiple body splatter from Envy having made the way, able to get this site for free. It does appear the TSM set up for very much a retake. 4 with the Hunter's Fury, and Timo Hasn't bought a rifle, so you know he's looking for some overdrive value. We'll open up with the Hunter's Fury, though. Vora, a lot of lights up on that side. It's Ion that will have to have that ult drawn out of him, and Kane gets active immediately over by the link side. It's going to be relay bolts traded out. Fast lane thrown up. Timo, though, doesn't seem to respect that. He wants to take this engagement. Ion, though, makes use of his spare life, and Kane follows him up. Just unreal trading capacity from this Envy squad. These guys can shoot. Extra's low. Bit of a self-flash there, but you'll note that the spike is heading in the most securest direction possible. Envy got that link control and are using it to get to B.
30 seconds left.
It feels like they just have absolutely no right to come out on top in this situation. Ion playing that late flank position in spawn, holding the off angle. GMD, yeah, no, cooked. Exer waiting in tiles. Envy just get away with winning low percentage win chance rounds with such an unbelievable consistency. Ion has, what, a second left to live with the Clove all used, and headshots Timotino running around with the overdrive. Just, it is insane, man. It is insane. And you have Kane just on such low HP dancing around, able to live that entire time. It's crazy.
That's how good Clove is in those scenarios. So that pick me up there is pretty important to allow him to actually stay around in the fight and at least set up a solid trade for Kane. Envy always have each other's backs. Now, Extra can't gate crash right now, and he doesn't seem to care. I mean, get this guy out of there. Get him out. The disrespect from Envy gets punished, and that's what TSM have to do. They've got to earn the regard of their opponents here, but they set the playing field to favor them very heavily with that 0 point. And Envy still want to challenge it.
Yeah, I like as well, you know, TSM definitely aware that Eggster is the man with the AWP. Kane wants to recover this spike, is able to get it, and wants to fight when the wall drops. Good trade from 7.
Spike down A.
We talked about this before. Like, there's a generally agreed on way to play some of these scenarios, like setting up crossfires and like where you want to be and how many risks you want to take. And Envy really tend to throw that rule book out of the window. And it's a big part of their strategy against so many teams, especially those that are drilled and really macro oriented and, you know, want to play by the book. Envy tend to really upset that on occasion. TSM combine really nicely to take that A main control, and Envy just have no other option but to keep fighting for it. They're priced into playing with that level of audacity as it is. So Inspire, as per usual, has managed to weasel his way into a very different part of the map, but you'll notice that Timo is expecting this, with mid having been pretty open and TSM given control of that in order to gamble heavily on A. They have no idea where the Cypher's going to come from.
10 seconds left.
Shouldn't be able to get any value here, and Spire would like to even just get some kills, but Timotino was waiting on that line the entire time. Feel like if 7 didn't get that instant sheriff headshot, Kane would have definitely killed him, to be honest, and complexion of the round looks very different from there. But great aggro play from TSM. That 0 point connects. So they know Eggster's there. They also know Eggster is opping, so they can just overwhelm with numbers. And that was an awesome pop flash as well. 7's util there gets insane value.
So both sides of the coin we've seen. Envy winning these ridiculous thrifties with that trap play on Timotino in B main, and then losing a thrifty to just good application of utility. It's not just about gunplay in this game. I know it's a bit of a meme at this point, but TSM, if they're going to win, those are the kind of angles that they need to take. 0 point again, this time a bit closer, so set for a faster play and be unaffected by it now. And Gimon's not on this line yet. That's a wider swing than he would like into 3 players, and he is duly punished for it.
Just alone, dry swing for info. Timotino on the line, but pinged up, has to definitely get out on account of the drone. Great timing for 7 to peek, 1 for 1 though. So Envy retain that man advantage, getting all the information on player positions from the neural theft, so they know that Alvin was on the flank.
Came in with an op. Oh my goodness, he went to post up on that angle. Like, we were honestly getting close to the domain of a potential multi-gun save there from TSM. They opt to go for it, though, and got the money to spend on that kind of round, but it goes up in smoke.
Aside from just the gunplay, which we know Kane is absolute top tier in challengers with, I mean, if not honestly just North America generally, I think you're absolutely putting him up there with the top aimers. But with the Neon play right now, honestly, what's blowing me away is his util usage. It's been fantastic. The way that he's using the relay bolts, the angles he's firing them off on, how many connections he's getting. Really intelligent stuff.
I like this from Timo. Even if he wasn't really committed to it, just being able to dissuade Envy's aggression will now earn him control of A main for now, especially with the one-way in play. But it's all been a ruse, Wyatt. Look at this mid presence. Envy are already top mid, threatening a split. Now the 0-point caught on, but Vor is not able to respond to it quickly enough, and if Alvin can play this safely enough, he might have found the relief valve. There's Timo to the rescue just in time, and this play almost falls apart. But Timo extends a little bit too far around the corner, and Poppin manages to master his aim. Now the 1 versus 1. Neural theft, though, still ticking. So Gimon gets an updated information about where Poppin is, and he tries to take the fight, and it's a little bit rusty on the aim from Gimon. He loses it out.
He had the right idea. Poppin just, adjusted his positioning to get over the door to make it seem like he could be going to A, he could be going back to B. Gimon has the read on the situation, holds the angle, but just doesn't connect the shot. TSM have got enough to buy up again with just some light and regen armors. Alvin does so much work there. Timotino kind of gets ahead of himself, though. Pushing in before there was that refight from Alvin. Timing's just a little bit off.
Flash there, but it's just a warning one.
And a fake gate crash into that cage as well. So it, seems like Envy could have been making a play towards elbow, but TSM have players there, so they know that is absolute nonsense, and they have the read on the situation. They're rotating to be really quick.
That was a clone. That was one that does trigger that trap wire. So all this side still trying to get clear. Seven's in the site, though. Getting down and dirty with it. Alvin wants to get involved now. May as well. In for a penny, in for a pound. And Envy find themselves just a little too low on numbers when it counts. X are the last to fall. A nice opener there from Seven, though. That shorty, that stinger gets put to use.
He was looking super hyped up after that as well. TSM just had the perfect understanding of that situation. It was a cool little idea from Envy, right? They throw that cage, gate crash, flash over towards that, A elbow side, but TSM just happened to have the player push all the way up, so they knew it was absolute nonsense. They walk into A main for free. They're already rotating over to B. They knew exactly what Envy had planned. They knew that was just a pure fake.
This time again, it's the trap play towards B main, the expectation that maybe Timo's up to no good. So Envy are probably just going to slam this. Clone goes in, they're disrespecting the one-ways, and here comes the Hunter's Fury now. Recon Bolt came out, did light up one of the Envy players, but I doesn't seem to mind too much. Problem is, TSM are anchoring properly. They're willing to take these fights. And at some point, they're going to have to earn Envy's respect for this. Inspire gets his in mid, always seems to control that part of the map, and also where things have fallen a little flat on the Envy side. If their gunplay can't back up the audacity, we get end round scenarios like these.
The players are quite low on HP. Inspire would have to, maybe find a situation where he can throw down a cage to isolate a 1v1, cut off a crossfire. Otherwise, he's going to be cooked coming out of this choke point.
Inspire just discussing something as he tries to work that corner, but there's 2 instances of swings there on that right side, and Vora, though, will take him out first. This is how TSM do it. It's not flashy from them. But they're able to stand up, and Alvin's been pretty darn sick in these sides. In fact, he and Seven as well, fighting on that B side of the map, I look very, very good. And the one reason why this game is still as close as it is.
Yeah, we've seen a couple instances now where Alvin, crucially, has just been able to maintain back sight control against a comp that is obviously going to move really fast with the Neon. On a round like that where Clove has res, they're just going to be sprinting in, taking point. And because he has back sight, TSM can flood right back in.
Here's the fast lane play, and there was actually a double back there for Kane, maybe just to try and throw the timing a little bit. Timo hoping to pull off what Gimon was able to do a few rounds back, just spray down 2, but here they're going to fight for this. Paranoia is good. It is bloody good. And enough to allow them to win this fight out. TSM backing up their good positioning with great util use. And again, Envy have very little to say. Kane is always going to do his thing in rounds like this. You expect it. But now has to go 1v3, even with Gimon as low as he is. It's going to be tough for the solo Neon to come up with the goods.
TSM do such a great job setting up that crossfire, fighting in the choke. And Kane having to come through this smoke. It should be wraps. And Jim D stabilizes for the team on that round. 6-6. Doesn't feel too bad if you're TSM, all things considered. Just given they had a really slow start, they lose that pistol. And then after rounds 5 and 6, it kind of just felt like Envy might run away with the half. So I think they got to be feeling pretty good about this result.
This is nice. And 7 is, pretty well appointed on his timing there. 3 players with that paranoia. And still, of course, Envy are going to fight for it. They still make it interesting. But that's what TSM really have to do. But that's the defense side done. And the one thing you've got to watch out for with this Envy team, Wyatt, is just the weird timings and the pops that they take defensively. They are going to try and muddle the mixture and mess with tempo as much as possible. So TSM arguably have to be even more switched on now.
All right, let's see what TSM have in store for us on this attack side. They've got a couple flashes. Extra wants to take that initial duel. Oh my god! That's crazy. What a catch.
Yeah, bro got cracked. Now, Paranoia catching on the pop is going to force him back in that link direction. And Kane's a little stranded here. Yeah, were he able to win that fight? It would have been good, but Alvin's been sharp today. And he finds yet another one. 2 players up in link with the dark cover in their way. Envy, I'm sure, have played from this situation many times and know better than most. But the odds aren't great. Ion knows there's a player tucked. There always seems to be. But he has to deal with that site presence as well. He's going to be caught on a crossfire either way. But Inspire bails him out. And here we go again. It's Envy's wild ride. And Alvin needs to lock it down. Takes a hit. Ion with the tap. Just gives a little bit of leg. Enough to keep Alvin busy. 3 bullets left, and he has more than enough. That is a bona fide USDA Prime 2 versus 4 in the pistol. And Envy snatch it up.
Honestly, a brutal watch. I mean, TSM seemed like they were set up pretty all right to me, but the beef for the shots in the back. This was such a crazy opener. And then Alvin picks up 2 really nice kills.
I'm sorry, but like,
brutal, man. I mean, they just
have
missed.
Like
they just missed shots. It's an FPS game, and they missed.
Oh, yeah. I don't know, man. Inspire does very well to bail Ion out because he should be traded 9 times out of 10 from that spot. I mean, it's just more than slightly unlikely. It's a little absurd.
I think as well, maybe there were some body shots in there, but Ion maybe got the heal really quick as well. Would have to replay it to see, honestly.
Well, as the timing from Inspire is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just going to lay waste to them now.
This one's done.
Oh, I think Imon's position might be noted.
Man, both halves envy you, win the pistol, and then get a flawless on round 2. A pure bonus attempt.
And this is an Envy, by the way, who win 8 out of 10 pistols in their best of 5 yesterday. Like, that was a huge part of them being able to derive this early lead.
TSM, rather.
Yes,
TSM. Yeah.
That's right. So, a little bit rough, but I know for a fact that they would have walked into this game expecting a very different vibe. And Envy are consistent in offering the same flavor. It's spicy.
And they are ready to go for a large A fight, it seems. Just leaving Inspire to get all of that information towards B. Extra has the ability to teleport there and does get to Boba.
Unlikely that Kane strays too far from this position for now. So yeah, Envy want to try and play into this presumed mid-control that TSM have been able to gain.
They were set up for that big A fight, but because no one came early, they're rotating off pretty much straight away. But with that opening from 7, I mean, what am I watching? What am I watching? Vor down to 6.
Well, I remember he did that in A main and ended up getting 4 kills. So it's the kind of thing that you trust Kane Zero with.
He is
big damage on the second player.
Of death by shock dart with popping on this site. Wow, really fast flank as well from Inspire. I like this, just getting active, trying to take a timing. Why not? You're on a free bonus round. You carried every weapon into this.
30 seconds
How
left.
good is Inspire? How good is the intuition
Alvin,
there? That is...
he was looking at 2 different angles.
Oh, they're going to do it again, Wyatt. Come on, nicely done. Apparently on the run.
Vora
He's able
just
to take Poppin now.
so weak. Eggster has a flash, clone, bit of info. Inspire picked up the cam as well, so you can try to get some information off that. Goes for the off-map little cam.
Pretty powerful one. You really got to creep close to the wall to avoid that one. But Inspire gets found a little solo, so it's going to be up to Eggster. Looking for the clutch. No shots connecting on a Timo as he's able to dash across, and now TSM have got pretty powerful post-plant positions, and Timo will convert. Well handled there. Those are the situations that Envy, more often than not, seem to be able to find a way through. And even with that cheeky little cam, Inspire doesn't see enough to see it coming.
Was a nice little timing for Timo to swing. Realizing that with that globe smoke coming down, Eggster was definitely just going to try to immediately tap. If Kane actually gets the kill on Vora there, could be looking at a different round.
And that reposition, like crossing the site, getting an elbow, feels like it makes it almost deterministic at that point.
This is a weird buy situation. I didn't see what happened, that Poppin is left on a Marshall, no armor. So bought up for someone on the last round. I didn't notice that, but now a little bit awkward for him to play this out, or that was just him fully forcing up to get the op for Eggster.
The one-ways. Yeah, Inspire's Fun Palace already set up. Taken down those, TSM simply just flood through.
Ion was considering getting back in, but is going to be flashed off, spotted by 7, is on the angle.
And he just wings it, just takes the walk out there. It's gonna be dangerous here for Poppin. Eggster trying to set up with his op. Now they've got to go for it though. Kane found 2 amidst all of that. What a mess. Fast lane and play. Kane has to take some damage in order to get this position. Takes a dart out, but he's opened things up for Eggster. He's gotten himself a Vandal now. They're playing together. Bora will try and work this and just straight up loses the duel. Things are looking much better now for Envy. Looking to try and double swing GMD. And there's pressure on the spike. Kimon has to convert. Low on bullets, has to reload. It's an opening. And Eggster exploits. Kimon can't get it done. And it's that quick 2-piece for Kane, just as it looked like Envy were running out of steam, that gets them onto the site with numbers.
Eggster able to throw that op away, switch to the rifle. I'm stunned that Envy win that. 7 does a great job finding that kill onto Ion back site. Getting that forward positioning. It's a great trade on, onto Inspire, so it's easy for TSM to get further back into the site. But it just
Alvin's
crumbles.
setups are pretty similar, right? Obviously, that Cypher one-way is very standard, but being able to throw your own cage down in front, a layer to get in, kind of like the counter smoke, on defense side, side of Lotus, as you push up. Poor Eggster. The fire rate of the Stinger, more than he can handle before he can gate crash out. And Kane Zero is stuck in that corner. Timo picks him off. This solo attack side up now having been picked up. Envy just going to let themselves get thrifty. Live by the sword, die by the sword, I guess.
Poppin, yeah, he's spotted. He's paranoid. He is going to get absolutely overrun backside.
Ooh, the double ping. Oh my goodness, Poppin. That's a bulldog he's using. Kimon gets into the site though. Ion is good for it. In position now to take the fight against Kimon, but is he ready for this? Timing, it's just a weaker weapon for GMD. He's going to go back and get the spike. Ion goes low. And has a chance to set up for this TP across the map. Ion has to figure it out. He has to carefully clear that A side and make an informed decision. Likely he's just going to have to wait for the spike plant queue.
Pretty unreal play from Poppin to even get this to a 1 versus 1 after Timotino just lights up Envy with a crazy individual play to start the round off. And Ion wants to fully go through B main at this point.
Just how good are you, Ion? Your opponent has no armor. Kimon does have a dark cover to troll with. Ion also with a full cache of utility. No information and very little time. Smoke up the side and Kimon gonna be quick about this. Go. Oh my goodness! Oh, buddy! The stars align for Ion. Unfortunately for him, or not, just able to stick it with 1.5 seconds left in the round. Imagine if that is a little different by a second or so, Kimon maybe just gets timing pushing into that smoke.
I mean, in a vacuum, if you just look at what TSM did that round, they're on an eco, they get 4 kills and the plant on a round where you're now, putting Envy in a position where they're going to have to fully buy down here. Pretty solid, not too bad. But when you actually look at that round in the context of what happened, they are going to be very sad that they lost out. What a sick play from Poppin. Just that sequence of the 3K was pretty astounding. Second shot, just midair onto the neon. I believe he was pinged by either the recon or he was pinged by something, and then gets paranoid. They have his location. Crazy.
And then he darts on the side and pings 2 of the players just as they're about to push out at him. So the paranoia at that point doesn't actually matter. And he cleans up 2 of them in quick succession with the Bulldog. Gimon is able to intervene, but it takes some time. The damage is already done by that point. Again, look at this. Oh my God. Borad's so low after that. He ends up picking him off. Dude, like, come on. And like the timing of this is just a little uncanny. Now, Ion just, gives it a tap, picks out, and has just enough time. It's like 1 second, 1.5 seconds left. That's a real thin margin. But Envy are winning rounds like that. Almost getting thrifty, though. We can't leave that out.
This is a highly important buy round, though. If TSM can close it out, they're going to put Envy on an eco for the next, so this could be worth 2. Both sides have very significant ultimates to play with. However, TSM, even at that, they have a bit of a leg up with the null command for 7. Maybe an opportunity to deny in a retake. Eggster using that drift or Poppin using the Hunter's Fury could just turn those off at a crucial moment.
Both teams working with a lot of potential in those ults. It's just the gate crash there as a precaution for Eggster.
Yeah, it could still be a little dangerous, though. When he gets out of that, he's going to be in the open.
Yeah, if they're playing link side, he'll have to literally hit the A key.
Well, he can't get out now. Yeah, he's stuck.
All right, here's the Hunter's Fury in response. Poppin trying to see what he can dig up, and okay, we are just not checking. He's tucked inside elbow. Now he's traded out. Alvin gets him.
30 seconds.
That's not really what he want to be. You just pop that null command, and good timing. Alvin really locks that part of the map down, and Aspire thought he had an opportunity. Still a player advantage for Envy. Still a second bite of the apple for Ion if he gets popped.
Yeah, player advantage. They could have 4 players, basically. You can have Ion just sprint in first and immediately res if he dies.
Here they come. Relay ball catching on to 7. Gotta be tough to fight out of this one against the judge of all things. Kane wants to be sure. And he sees 7 revealed. Curtain comes down on him and on the round. And that's Envy getting up to 11. TSM looked really good. On the defense side, looked sort of responding to this pressure because it was telegraphed in some senses. They could have these set defensive looks. But they are being disrupted by some odd positioning. And get kind of owned by that player tucked in elbow.
Envy on that round as well only end up needing to use Poppin's Hunter's Fury. He tries to go for its super long range outside of that null command radius. So now they've got ult saved up 4 heading into this next round.
Tough to win those if you are 7. And not having to use the ults, Wyatt, you're dead right. Just Poppin's Hunter's Fury, of which he's already made 2 orbs back on. Round number 19 coming at you. Envy getting close now from TSM's economy. Benefiting from loss bonus, but still not looking to flash.
Knight gets the information onto Inspire. Trips are going to be down, but...
What? Wait!
Yeah, no.
He could maybe sneak up on that. I respect it. But yeah, pinged out.
Surely he doesn't survive.
But he's still got his, despite that. Still getting some value. Oh, Poppin is sharp as attack. Okay, hack it the heck up. TSM running to the firing line, and Envy do not miss this time.
This one is certainly feeling as good as done at this point. Envy gets some early control towards A. Even with TSM being able to connect that 0 point onto Inspire, turn off the trips, he gets his, honestly lives for a fair amount of time where he's just distracting, buying some time. TSM are really slow to get out of main there.
Man.
And by the time they do, there's already 2 players backside for Envy.
Okay, Kane just wants to be done with this, apparently. Takes no damage there from Alvin. And runs into a double face here from TSM. Also popping. Was felled. Extra, though, pretty pleased, I think, to come out of that exchange, not having taken a bullet himself either. Gets those numbers evened up. Spike, though, definitely en route towards A in halls. Plenty of time, though, for this setup and maybe even a play through the backside because Alvin is dead. There's nothing watching the flank.
And another retake where Envy do have that sort of man advantage. If Ion runs in, gets the res off.
Okay, does the gate crash into the back corner of the side? Oh, no, something nonsensical is about to go down. Ecstasy's Timo come, loses it out.
Last player standing.
Okay.
One enemy
Now to be on Ion. His ultimate less relevant in this kind of situation. Timo would know how to govern this situation. And Ion just shuts him down. It's sheer individual brilliance from basically every member of this Envy squad at different times that nets them a comfortable 13-7 win to open the series.
It really did feel like legitimately every single player had highlight reel moments on the team. It wasn't one of them taking over. They all just turned up at various moments, which, as always, when you're watching Envy, just allows them to win a number of rounds where on paper you're looking at it and they have such a